So you like stealth, evasion, and overall elusiveness, and now you've landed on the Thief in Guild Wars 2, the resident assassin for this game. But you are getting completely trash canned by all sorts of mobs with your very small health pool and little toughness, and you left to wonder, what the heck was that? Well, that's where I'm going to try to help you. This is the new player's guide to the Thief in Guild Wars 2. While the emphasis will be on the core spec, I will briefly touch on the Daredevil, the Deadeye, and the Specter. Let's get into it. So there are a few mechanics that the Thief has to work with. First, the major mechanic is steal. Steal shadow steps to your target and steals an item from them. The new item that is stolen becomes your second action button, which offers a one-time use skill per steal. Just about every stolen item has some type of unique use, such as stealing from a warrior allows you to use a spinning attack, or stealing from an engineer allows you to throw some gunk at your enemies. Against NPCs, it can offer a random assortment of bundles, depending on the type of enemy you are facing, such as a Moa can grant you a Tuft of Feathers or a healing egg. Steal has a relatively short cooldown before it can be used again. The other major profession mechanics are initiative, stealth attacks, and dual attacks. Stealth and dual attacks I will cover when we talk about weapons. Initiative is the main resource thieves use to activate their weapon abilities. Each weapon's skill costs initiative, and it regenerates slowly over time. If the thief runs out of initiative, then all they can use is their basic attack until they have the initiative to cast other skills. The trait lines of the Thief look to enhance certain aspects of their combat as well, of course, as their elusiveness. The core 5 traits are Deadly Arts, Critical Strikes, Shadow Arts, Acrobatics, and Trickery. Deadly Arts focuses on improving daggers as well as applying poison, also excellent at dispatching low health enemies. Critical Strikes focus on just that, critical hits and critical damage. This can also improve signets and pistol weapon skills. Shadow Arts offers various bonuses to stealth as well as applying blinding. Acrobatics focuses on elusiveness, improving dodging and mobility, while Trickery has an emphasis on improving your profession mechanic of steal as well as initiative regeneration. There are quite a few capabilities that the Thief has at their disposal. So as a disclaimer, at the time of recording this video, the Elite Specialization weapons are not available to the core specs. However, in the new expansion, Secrets of the Obscure, the Thief will gain access to the staff from the Daredevil, the rifle from the Deadeye, and the scepter from the Specter. Let's cover the basic weapons first. The Thief has access to a variety of weapons that can offer sneaky combat, mobility, as well as evasiveness. The Thief can use a short bow, a main hand sword, a main hand dagger, the main hand pistol, pair that with an offhand dagger and an offhand pistol. The Thief has access to weapon swapping as well. Each of the main hand weapons offers a stealth attack, which is available only, of course, when the Thief is stealth. When the Thief combines a main hand weapon and an offhand weapon, their third weapon skill becomes a dual attack, which usually has a powerful effect. The short bow offers a number of ranged damaging abilities that can inflict heavy conditions onto multiple enemies. Most notably is the Infiltrator Arrow, which allows you to shoot a location and then shadow step to it once it lands. The stealth attack for the short bow is Surprise Shot, which immobilizes and bleeds enemies that are struck. The main hand sword offers high strike damage and great mobility, while its stealth attack blinds the target and implies vulnerability. If the ability hits from the side or from behind, it will instead daze the target, locking them out of using any skills for a short duration. The main hand dagger deals a lot of fast up-close damage, while also applying many condition. The stealth attack is Backstab, which strikes the enemy and deals double damage if the target is hit from behind. The main hand pistol inflicts bleeding and can immobilize foes, while the stealth attack deals damage rapidly, inflicting high stacks of bleeding. The offhand dagger can inflict conditions at distance as well as granting on-demand stealth, while the offhand pistol can inflict crowd control and create a blinding smoke area which can be leapt through to grant stealth to the Thief or allies. Let's talk about the dual attack combinations. When the sword is paired with an offhand dagger, the Thief gains access to Flanking Strike, which evades attacks and deals damage, but then gains access to Lacernius Strike, which can remove boons from the target and deals more damage if the target has no boons. The main hand sword paired with the offhand pistol gains Pistol Whip, that stuns enemies and then repeatedly slashes them with the sword. The main hand dagger paired with the offhand dagger gains Death Blossom, where the Thief evades over the target and inflicts high bleeding stacks. The main hand dagger paired with the offhand pistol gains access to Shadow Shot, which shoots an unblockable shot at your target, blinds them, and then shadow steps to the target and finishes with a swift dagger strike. The main hand pistol paired with the offhand dagger gains access to Shadow Strike, which stabs your target and shadow steps away to shoot them again, which then unlocks the ability Repeater, which rapidly blasts your target, inflicting heavy bleeding to them. The main hand pistol and offhand pistol gains access to the Unload ability, which rapidly blasts enemies with both pistols, gaining might and regenerating some initiative if all attacks hit. Truly deadly combinations. The Thief has access to 5 sets of utility skills that offer quite a variety of sneaky ways to overcome enemies and obstacles. The Thief has Deception, Preparation, Signets, Tricks, and Venom. The Deception skills focus on stealth, shadow stepping, and other various tools to make the fight unfair for their enemies. Preparation skills function similar to traps, with the caveat that the Thief can activate them on demand when the time is right. Signets offer a variety of passive and active effects. When utilizing the active effect, it puts the passive effect on cooldown until the ability is able to be used again. Trick skills improve evasiveness and control on enemies by pulling and crippling them. The Venom skills allow the Thief to coat their weapons in animal venom for deadly effects on the next few attacks. Regardless of the choice, the Thief is well prepared from the shadows. The Thief, being evasive and elusive, usually isn't suited for sustained upfront melee combat, relying on mobility and stealth to overwhelm and confuse foes. Utilizing their shadow steps and their range capabilities, the Thief can kite enemies for a very long period of time, and then dash in for the kill when the time is right. Most of the skills rely on timing, as once you are out of initiative, it takes time for that to regenerate, so careful calculation of each engagement is a must. On top of that, being able to utilize stealth to your advantage, especially when you need a moment respite for your initiative regeneration, can be the matter between defeating an enemy and in downstate. Because the Thief can utilize both power and condition damage, they can fit many different playstyles and dish out some serious damage. But in my opinion, the best iteration is the double daggers with condition. It just feels right. So here are a few quick tips to get you on your way from the shadows. First, the double pistol setup, as far as weapons are concerned, can do a wide variety of damage while also keeping you relatively safe, which is great for beginner thieves or if you want a more low intense build. Number 2, remember that if you need to re-engage with an enemy, Steel shadow steps you to your target. Also, remember, Steel can put you back into harm's way if you are not careful. And number 3, lastly, don't forget to pull your initiative. Don't spam your abilities so fast that you run out and you have nothing left to do but auto attack. For the most part, the Thief can offer quite a variety of condition damage across the board, and thrive using such gear stats such as Vipers, or even a hybrid focus of Grieving. I would like to make a mention that in open world, most cases, even Celestial gear can be well suited for the rigors of combat. Power builds can also do fairly well in this sense, as well as the sword and daggers both have strong capabilities to deal strike damage both at melee and range. The Daredevil Elite specialization is from the Heart of Thorne's expansion. The Daredevil epitomizes evading by adding an additional dodge bar to their kit, along with a number of ways to improve their fast and flowy combat style. The Daredevil thrives as a melee combatant, wielding the staff to brutalize and smash foes with swift attacks. The Daredevil also gains access to physical skills that bruise and break foes with startling ferocity. Most notably is their Grandmaster trait lines, which offer a unique way to customize their dodge roll, either in a bound that improves damage, a dodge that hurls condition-dealing daggers, or even a movement-freeing dodge that allows them to become even more elusive. Regardless, the Daredevil can flow through combat and crash like water. The Deadeye is the elite specialization for the Path of Fire expansion. This is the true sniper in Guild Wars 2, allowing the Thief to modify their Steel ability into Deadeye's Mark. Once marked, the Thief increases damage done to that target and also builds up a secondary resource called Malice. Malice can be expended on modified stealth attacks called Malicious Stealth Attacks that expunge all Malice stacks to deal heavily increased strike or condition damage. Of course, no sniper would be complete if they didn't have a rifle to equip and attack at great range. The Deadeye also gains access to cantrip abilities, which offer defensive and elusive capabilities for the sharpshooter. Targets marked, rifle set, boom. Lastly, we have the Specter. The Specter is the End of Dragon's elite specialization, and it allows the Thief to embody the shadows to inflict high condition damage to targets, while also providing supportive capabilities to allies. The Steel ability becomes Siphon, which allows the Specter to generate Shadow Force. Shadow Force is used on Shadow Form, a brand new set of skills and abilities that allow the Specter to deal increased damage and conditions for a time. The Specter can also tether themselves to allies, allowing them to heal and support them whilst also dealing heavy condition damage to allies. The Specter also picks up the Specter that allows them to stack barriers onto allies or to deal torment and other conditions to enemies. And lastly, the Specter gains access to wells that give them the capability of supporting allies while also devastating groups of clumped up enemies foolish enough to stand inside. The shadows are alive and torment awaits. Regardless of your approach, the Thief is without a doubt one of the fastest elusive combatants in Guild Wars 2, and is adept at surprising enemies and bursting them down before they can even retaliate. Beware, what you don't see can hurt you. If you are interested in learning about the legendary Mist champion, the Revenant, click this video here. Stay caffeinated, folks.